Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack ideas, insights, really, that can genuinely transform how we see the world and maybe how we operate within it.
That's the goal.
And today, wow, we're embarking on this really fascinating journey. It all kicked off with a challenge, actually. So audacious, almost confrontational, but it ended up being profoundly impactful.
Really set things in motion.
Yeah, it reshaped an entire life, and then by extension, thousands of other lives.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being told by your mentor, just point blank, you need to be making $100,000 a year or I'm going to fire you?
Huh. That's intense. I mean, for a lot of people, that would just sound aggressive, right?
Right.
Or maybe totally unrealistic.
Exactly. But for the entrepreneur whose perspective we're exploring today, that statement, it wasn't really a threat. It was more like a catalyst, a profound one.
Yeah, a wake-up call, maybe.
Totally. And this whole deep dive, it isn't just a story about making money, not really.
Yeah.
It's about digging into these interconnected realms. Wealth, sure, but also deep personal growth, and ultimately aiming for some kind of world-changing impact.
And it all stems from this sort of holistic recalibration of, well, your entire being.
Mm-hmm.
And that's precisely what we want to explore here in this deep dive, isn't it? That profound connection often hidden between our psychology, our inner world, and our financial reality, financial abundance.
Yeah, how those deep beliefs, the ones we don't even know we have sometimes.
Exactly. The unconscious ones, how they can either, propel us forward or maybe more often than we think, just hold us back completely.
Right.
But like you said, it goes way beyond just the money. We'll also really get into the crucial role of holistic well-being.
Which means,
Well, your physical health, obviously, but also your emotional and spiritual health, too. They're like the absolute non-negotiable foundation for figuring out your purpose,
yeah,
and for actually making a meaningful contribution.
can't pour from an empty cup.
You really can't. And as we go through this, we'll also touch upon some interesting ideas about the future of education, how that's evolving, and also how fostering an entrepreneurial spirit might be this really powerful, scalable way to tackle some of the big global challenges we're facing.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack this then. What actually happens when those deep, often unconscious beliefs about money get challenged head on, like really confronted? And how does that one shift, that one fundamental change, ripple out into, well, basically every other part of our lives? It starts with a story that, honestly, it makes you lean in. Really highlights how deep that financial conditioning can run.
The Psychology of Financial Abundance, 1.1 Challenging Preconceived Notions of Wealth.
So the story kicks off with this mentor figure, apparently quite sharp, very direct individual, and he lays down this just astonishing demand to our speaker.
$100,000 demand.
That's the one. He says, okay, you're going to be on my sales team, and you need to be making $100,000 a year, or I'm going to fire you.
Wow. Just like that.
Just like that. And you have to picture the speaker's reaction. He described having this look of just sheer bewilderment, almost disbelief washing over his face.
I can imagine.
Because, at that point in his life, he genuinely thought making $50,000 a year was, well, practically out of reach. Like a huge stretch from where he was.
So $100K was just unimaginable.
Completely. He hadn't even let himself think about a number like that. He was used to earning, I think he said, about $1,000 a week.
Okay.
Which back then to him felt pretty comfortable. He felt like he could do almost anything he wanted on that.
Yeah.
He even remembered thinking, there's not much you can't do on $1,000 a week.
Right. Different times, maybe around 2000.
Yeah.
But it shows his frame of reference.
Exactly. His financial thermostat, you could call it, deeply set.
And that right there, that reaction, that's where the mentor, with this incredible foresight, just cuts straight to the chase.
Yeah.
Sees the look on his face, the bewilderment, and doesn't even hesitate, just says, you got a problem with money?
Oof.
Very. But not necessarily as a judgment, more like a diagnosis, an immediate sharp insight.
Okay, I see.
And this highlights something so important that we often miss when we're chasing financial success: the psychological barriers. They're frequently way more limiting than any external circumstance or lack of opportunity.
The invisible ceilings.
Totally. They're not conscious roadblocks most of the time. They're these hidden narratives, these internal scripts, sometimes passed down through generations, operating just below the surface.
Where do they come from?
All sorts of places. Childhood experiences, maybe things you heard growing up, like money's the root of all evil, or rich people are greedy. Cultural norms, too. Or even specific financial traumas, like seeing your family struggle. All that stuff can create this subconscious program that actually resists abundance.
Even when the opportunity is right there.
Exactly. It pushes it away without you even realizing it.
So how do you even start to tackle something like that? It sounds so deep.
Well, the mentor's approach was interesting, quite unusual, actually.
The cash thing.
Yeah. To confront these deep mental blocks, he gave the speaker this really peculiar instruction. Carry $2,000 in cash in his pocket at all times.
$2,000. Just
Ye-
walking around with it.
Yep. And the mentor's rationale was, you need to believe that $2,000 is just pocket money.
Wow.
Yeah.
That feels uncomfortable just thinking about it.
Exactly. It wasn't about spending it wildly. It was like exposure therapy for his mindset. This physical act, carrying the cash, was designed specifically to trigger all those subconscious beliefs and bring them right up to the surface where he could see them.
Okay.
And to help with that, he was also told to keep a journal and meticulously write down everything that came up, all the emotions, the thoughts, the discomfort, just from having that money physically on him.
So the physical act plus the reflection.
Precisely. It was this ingenious combo. As the speaker wrote down his fears and feelings, the mentor would help him translate them. He'd say things like, okay, these are your core beliefs about money that have to change.
Making the invisible visible.
You got it. It's such a powerful illustration of how deeply psychology and money are linked. Because if you're carrying around these unconscious beliefs like money makes you a target or it ruins relationships or you just don't deserve it,
Then even if you get it, you'll somehow lose it.
you'll likely self-sabotage, yeah. You might feel massive guilt or shame, so you give it away or spend it recklessly or make bad investments because your internal money thermostat, your subconscious comfort level is just set too low. That physical discomfort of carrying the cash, it was a direct mirror of his mental discomfort with actually having it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And what were some of the specific fears he uncovered? You mentioned fear.
Oh, yeah. And they're incredibly relatable for a lot of us, I think.
Like what?
Well, first there was the fear of judgment. What if someone sees this wad of cash and judges me? That's my money. He even noticed a cultural thing there.
How so?
He felt that maybe in Australia, showing wealth might get a reaction like, whoa, what are you doing? Get back down to earth. Kind of a tall poppy thing, maybe?
Right, keep it low key.
Whereas, he speculated, in America it might be seen more like, cool, you're successful. A different vibe around aspiration.
Interesting. What else?
Then the more visceral fear, theft or physical danger. What if someone mugs me for this?
Yeah, that seems realistic.
And the mentor's insight was, okay, this reveals a core belief that money will actually cause you physical harm, make you vulnerable.
Wow. Wait a
And the
minute.
last one was really interesting, about relationships. He worried, what if a girl sees this money and thinks she only wants to date me for the money?
The authenticity fear.
Exactly. He realized this pointed to a deeper belief that money would somehow interfere with genuine connection, that it would taint relationships.
So judgment, danger, and inauthentic relationships. Those are pretty fundamental fears.
They really are. They're not just surface anxieties. They get right down to the bedrock of our core beliefs about safety, belonging, and worthiness. They show how our personal history, family conditioning, cultural messages, even our deepest hopes and fears about love, it's all tangled up with our relationship to money.
It's like this invisible programming running the show.
That's a great way to put it. These unconscious programs subtly dictate our financial choices, our comfort levels, our outcomes. If you believe money is bad, or makes you unsafe, or compromises love, you will often unconsciously push it away or create situations where it just disappears.
Which prevents you from really creating or even enjoying abundance.
Precisely. It explains why some lottery winners end up broke again, or why successful people sometimes struggle with feeling like frauds. Without shifting those core beliefs inside, external success can feel temporary or just deeply, deeply uncomfortable. 1.2, redefining greed and deservingness.
And that deep psychological link, it really shows up when we talk about guilt and shame, doesn't it? Especially when someone receives what they feel is maybe too much money.
Oh, absolutely. The internal conflict can be immense.
Yeah, those questions bubble up immediately. I'm really deserving of this? Should I give it all away? Do I need to split it with everyone? It's like this internal battle, this feeling that maybe it's just wrong to have it.
It's a profound sense of unease for many people.
And that gets magnified by the global context, right? You mentioned a stat.
Yeah, it's quite startling, actually. If you aren't over, I think it's around 55,000 US dollars a year, you are technically in the top 1% of income earners on the entire planet.
Wow. Top 1%. Just 55 grand.
Let that sink in. For many people, just knowing that fact can trigger really deep discomfort. Thoughts like, maybe it is evil that I have this much, or it feels fundamentally unfair when so many people have so little.
It becomes an ethical dilemma almost.
It really can.
Yeah.
And it's not just about personal feelings, it's navigating those complex societal implications. But the danger is allowing those feelings, unworthiness, guilt, imposter syndrome, to actually shrink your potential, to stop you from leaning into your full capacity to contribute.
Think you feel bad about having the resources to do so.
Exactly. It can become a self-limiting cycle.
The mentor seemed to really push on this, didn't he? With that thought experiment.
Oh yeah, the how much is a lot question, it was quite provocative.
So what happened? He asked the speaker how much he thought was a lot to earn.
Right. And back in 2000, his immediate unthinking answer was that grand a week, about $50 a year. That felt like a lot to him then.
Okay.
But then, years later, much further into his career, the mentor posed the question again, but with a twist. Don't be greedy.
Adding that constraint.
And interestingly, the number that popped into his head then for his personal needs was $20 million.
$20 million. That's a jump.
Huge jump. But what's crucial is how he immediately started thinking about that $20 million. It wasn't just for him.
What did you picture?
He instantly started thinking about using it to serve others, to make a bigger impact, hiring more people, creating livelihoods. His mind automatically went beyond personal accumulation towards, well, contribution.
That's a significant shift in perspective.
It really is. And then came the really counterintuitive, almost revolutionary part of the lesson.
Go on.
The mentor asked him, okay, is it greedy to want more or to want less?
Convention says wanting more is greedy.
Right. That's what we're all taught. But the answer he was given, the lesson learned, was less is greedy.
Less is greedy. How does that work? That flips everything upside down.
It completely does. And to really get it, you have to think historically, perhaps. For centuries, think about it. Powerful institutions, maybe monarchies, religious bodies, ruling classes, they often push the narrative that wanting more than your station, aspiring for greater wealth or influence, was inherently greedy, even sinful.
Why would they do that?
Well, think about it strategically. It wasn't always about pure morality. It was often a very effective way to maintain control.
Keep people in their place.
Exactly. By instilling this idea that wanting more is bad, they could keep the existing power structures stable, ensure people were content with their lot, and prevent the masses from aspiring to a level of prosperity or independence that might challenge their authority.
So be humble, want less was actually a control mechanism.
In many historical contexts, arguably yes. You see it in doctrines promoting asceticism for ordinary folks, while the elite live large, or social norms shaming ambition. And echoes of that conditioning are still around today, aren't they? In that little voice of guilt when we succeed, or the pressure to downplay our achievements.
Yeah, definitely. That feeling of, who am I to want more?
Exactly. It makes you question how much of our own reluctance to aim higher, to pursue greater abundance, is actually rooted in this old, potentially disempowering programming.
That's a heavy thought. We're told be happy with what you have, and gratitude is important.
Immensely important. Gratitude is foundational. But as this lesson suggests, it doesn't have to be a limitation. It's not the whole picture.
It's not an either.
Not at all. And it's vital here to respect different paths. This isn't about saying one way is right and another is wrong. Think about that classic story, the fisherman's story.
The one about the simple life versus building an empire.
That's the one. Someone preferring a simple, contented life, fishing just enough for the day, over the stress and complexity of building a huge business. That's a completely valid, often beautiful way to live.
So what's the key distinction then?
The key, according to the mentor, is individual alignment, understanding your true life purpose. Where does your unique vitality lie?
Vitality, like life force.
Exactly. That irreplaceable energy that makes you feel truly alive, fully you, indispensable in your own way. Some people are genuinely in alignment with building vast enterprises, creating jobs, impacting millions through commerce. Their vitality is in that expansive entrepreneurial drive. For them, wanting less would actually be out of alignment, maybe even greedy in the sense of not fulfilling their potential contribution.
While the fisherman's vitality was on his boat.
Precisely. He wasn't aligned with floating companies on the stock market. His purpose was local, deep, and equally valid. His vitality was there. Wanting more in the corporate sense would have been out of alignment for him.
So it's about finding your specific alignment.
That's the core insight. Recognizing where your unique vitality truly resonates and pursuing that path with total integrity and energy. When you hit that alignment where your past, present, and future feel connected, flowing through you, that's when things click. The right people show up, opportunities appear, abundance flows naturally. It's about being irreplaceable in your unique contribution, whatever scale that might be.
The crucial foundations. Holistic well-being, 2.1, beyond financial success, the pillars of life.
That reframe around alignment and vitality is so powerful. It moves way beyond just chasing dollars, and it leads perfectly into another crucial point the speaker really emphasizes. True abundance, real success. It's much bigger than just money or even business achievements.
Absolutely. It's a much broader picture.
Yeah, when he thought about what he truly wants his own kids to understand, the core things that matter, he landed on 3 pillars that, interestingly, have nothing directly to do with financial wealth.
And those are?
Number 1, health. Foundational. Then strong relationships. And third, a robust mindset.
What does mindset encompass there?
He clarified it revolves around having a clear sense of purpose, living a life that feels fulfilling, and crucially developing the resilience, the sort of fortitude to navigate adversity when it inevitably comes.
Okay, health, relationships, mindset. And if we connect that back to the bigger picture we've been discussing,
Yeah.
these aren't just, nice to haves that sit alongside success. They are the foundation. They're the irreducible elements of a significant, impactful life.
You can't build much without them.
Think about it. If your physical health is shot, where does the energy come from? How clear is your thinking? How fully can you show up?
Right.
If your relationships are strained or toxic, that's a massive energy drain, huge stress. And without that guiding purpose or the resilience to handle setbacks, even incredible financial wealth can feel empty or lead you adrift.
Money alone doesn't fix those things.
Not at all. Money can't compensate for a lack of vitality or genuine connection or that sense of meaning. These pillars, health, relationships, mindset, they're the actual fuel that powers a truly abundant and impactful life. 2.2, health as the ultimate priority.
And speaking of health being foundational, our speaker was really open about how he neglected his own for a long time.
Like many high achievers, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly. He just kind of assumed, like a lot of us do when we're younger, that he'd be fit forever. Took that youthful energy completely for granted.
Easy to do.
He even admitted feeling a bit envious of people who really prioritize sports and fitness. While he was just laser focused on business the whole time, he kind of thought his single-minded focus on projects was somehow better, more virtuous.
That's grind mentality.
Totally. And then, boom, reality check. A really alarming Christmas health scare.
Wow, what happened?
He'd had a routine blood test, nothing seemed urgent, but then on Christmas Eve, of all days, the doctor calls him personally.
Never a good sign when the doctor calls personally, especially on a holiday.
Right. Red flag immediately. The doctor tells him his pancreas is producing an enzyme at dangerously high levels and explicitly links it to not good things, a strong warning sign for potentially severe pancreatic problems.
That's serious. Pancreatic issues are no joke.
The doctor's immediate instruction was absolutely no alcohol, eat very modestly through Christmas, because indulging could cause real serious damage to his pancreas right then and there.
Talk about a mood killer for the holidays. And a massive wake-up call.
A huge one. A real Christmas ghost moment, as he put it, shook him right to the core.
And that's incredibly significant, especially given, as you mentioned, the context. He was acutely aware that one of his personal heroes, Steve Jobs, tragically died from pancreatic cancer at only 56.
Yeah, that connection must have hit hard.
Absolutely. Knowing that immediately elevates the situation from concerning blood tests to potentially life-threatening reality. It makes the need for a radical shift undeniable, urgent.
Why do you think so many of us weep for a crisis like that? Why don't we prioritize health before the alarm bells go off?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's such a common human pattern. We tend to underestimate the value of foundational things, like health, until they're directly threatened. Maybe because we get so caught up in chasing external goals, the next achievement, the next deadline. We forget the vehicle carrying us needs fuel and maintenance.
And it sounds like he had some internal conflicts about health focus, too, before the scare.
He did, and it's something many people might quietly relate to, I think. He admitted that before this happened, he actually held some pretty negative views about people who seemed really into their health and fitness.
What kind of views?
He sort of saw them as self-indulgent, maybe greedy, selfish, even vain, like they were making it all about them.
Well, he saw himself differently.
Yeah, he felt he was somehow better or more noble because he was pouring all his energy into projects, building teams, adding value to the world, ostensibly. It's that subtle trap, isn't it? Framing self-neglect as a virtue as dedication to a higher cause.
Conflating burnout with commitment.
Exactly. Thinking that sacrificing your well-being is a badge of honor in the service of your mission.
You know, his shift around health really hits home for me, too. I had a similar kind of realization personally, just understanding that my own holistic health, the spiritual, emotional, and physical sides that had to be priority number one.
The foundation.
Yeah. Not out of selfishness, but because I realized I needed the energy, the clarity, the authenticity that comes from being well to actually bring my best self to my purpose, to my family, to everything else.
Yeah.
It sounds like that aligns perfectly with his journey, realizing vitality is key for greater impact.
It really does. It perfectly illustrates that concept of vitality
Hmm.
we touched on earlier, that irreplaceable life force energy.
Right.
When you feel that deep sense of, this is me, this is what I'm meant to be doing right now, I'm irreplaceable in this moment, that's vitality. It's energetic alignment. Your presence is adding something unique.
And when you're out of alignment,
You start to lose it. As he discovered with his health, he recognized that, the over 40 chin, as he put it, and more seriously, those alarming pancreas levels, those were physical signs. Despite all his professional success, he wasn't fully expressing his potential because his health foundation wasn't solid.
so the health scare forced a value shift.
A profound one. He realized he could actually do more for the world, sustain his impact for longer, and leave a much more fulfilling life overall if his fitness and well-being became a much bigger priority, if his outcomes truly matched his newly clarified values.
That's the game changer, isn't it? It's not just about feeling better personally, it's about unlocking more capacity to contribute.
Precisely. More energy, more clarity, more longevity for your mission.
And it sounds like he's really committed now, his vision for his future self.
Yeah, at 55, he wants to be in the best shape of his life. Not just good shape, the best.
That's ambitious.
It is. And he expressed real gratitude to his current 44-year-old self for making the changes now, embracing things like fasting.
Which is good for the pancreas, right?
Sure.
Gives it a rest.
Exactly. Doing 4 personal training sessions a week, making huge dietary shifts, cutting out processed foods, alcohol, coffee. These aren't small tweaks.
No, that's a fundamental reordering of priorities.
Absolutely. Moving from chasing short-term comfort or convenience to investing in long-term vitality.
And we see this work in the real world, don't we? You mentioned Dan Martell.
Yeah, our mutual friend Dan, he's such a great example. He's a super successful entrepreneur. And over the last year or so, he just went all in on optimizing his health.
And the results?
Astonishing. Seriously, it wasn't just his physique, though that changed dramatically. His business absolutely exploded. His leadership presence became even more powerful, more inspiring. His overall impact just grew exponentially.
Wow. So it wasn't a distraction from business, it fueled it.
It totally fueled it.
Yeah.
It speaks to that idea that optimizing your health can create this ripple effect, this exponential growth in other areas. You have more sustained energy, better mental focus, more emotional resilience, more confidence. It becomes this positive feedback loop,
Yeah.
almost like a healthy addiction, channeling that drive into something profoundly beneficial.
It's like the body sends signals too, doesn't it? He mentioned the challenge of being incredibly comfortable at 44.
Yeah, and finding that comfort potentially problematic, which is interesting.
Right. He feels this need to keep enrolling himself in play a big game, to stay hungry, stay curious, not about inviting crazy stress, but finding that edge, avoiding complacency.
That productive discomfort zone.
Exactly. Not stressed, but definitely not lazy.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentioned listening to his body's cues, like an eyelid twitch signaling he needs more rest or needs to slow down.
Learning to listen before it screams.
Yeah, moving from crisis management to proactive self-care, self-stewardship.
And this connects really beautifully to another concept you brought up that I love. Fun is a biological signal.
Fun as a biological signal. What does that mean?
It means that when something feels genuinely fun, when you get lost in it, lose track of time, feel fully alive and engaged, that's literally your body and mind signaling that you are in true alignment. You're experiencing joy in that activity.
So lean into the fun.
Absolutely. If something feels genuinely fun, explore more of it. It's like a
Yeah.
compass pointing towards where your unique vitality, your true energy, lies. We often dismiss fun as frivolous, especially the whole grind culture thing.
Yeah, no pain, no gain, taken too far.
Right. But fun, real fun, signals alignment. It shows where your life force is strongest, where your potential for authentic contribution is highest. It's an invitation to pursue the things that genuinely light you up, knowing it's not just self-indulgence, it's actually a pathway to sustained energy and bigger impact.
Education, Entrepreneurship, and Global Impact. 3.1 Reimagining Education for the Future.
Okay, shifting gears a bit now, but still connected to this idea of alignment and potential. He also shared some really personal and frankly quite challenging experiences with traditional schooling.
Yeah, that sounded tough.
He grew up dyslexic, and because of that, he often felt deeply insecure.
Yeah.
He actually labeled himself dumb, constantly felt not enough.
That's heartbreaking.
He described always failing tests, quizzes, finals, this relentless cycle of academic frustration. He said every day felt like failure. And his description was so vivid, like being a fish trying to walk down the street.
Wow. Just completely out of your element, forced into a system not designed for you.
Exactly. A soul-crushing experience where his natural strengths were just ignored and his perceived weaknesses were constantly highlighted. It just sucked the life and curiosity right out of him, he said.
And that experience really contrasts with what he felt in sports, right?
Totally. In sports, even though there were daily failures, constant need for improvement, he saw progress. He felt a sense of growth, of getting better.
Which highlights a fundamental issue with a lot of traditional one-size-fits-all education, doesn't it? For so many kids, it just doesn't foster that sense of progress or mastery or even individual worth.
It focuses on the wrong thing sometimes.
Often, yeah. Prioritizing rote learning, standardized tests over critical thinking, creativity, recognizing different kinds of intelligence. It's not about learning in a way that feels enjoyable or aligned for the individual. It's this rigid system where many people, like him, simply weren't set up to thrive.
And he feels this is still happening.
He pointed out that millions of kids today are having that same sucking the life out of me experience because the traditional system just hasn't kept pace with how fast the world is changing, especially with technology.
Which creates a real dilemma for parents now, doesn't it?
Huge dilemma. He mentioned his own kids are actually in traditional schools, not homeschooled, and they struggle with it too.
So why keep them there?
He wrestled with it
Yeah.
because there is value in the shared experience, the peer interaction, the social development the school can offer. But he constantly questions if those things couldn't be found elsewhere. Sports teams, music, dramas, public speaking clubs,
It's a balancing act.
A tricky one, he said. Balancing that essential social piece with a system that often fails to nurture unique talents, spark real curiosity, or actually prepare kids for the future economy.
So what's the alternative then? What does he see changing?
Well, this is where he gets really excited about the potential of AI tutors. He described them as potentially phenomenal.
AI tutors. How would they be different?
Imagine a tutor not limited by managing 30 or 40 kids at once. An AI could adapt its speed instantly to your child's pace. Speed up if they get it, slow down if they need more time.
Personalized pacing.
Exactly. And it could switch analogies, provide different examples, explain a concept in 5 different ways until it clicks for that specific child.
Okay, that sounds powerful.
It could even hold conversations, ask follow-up questions, spot misunderstandings, give personalized feedback, almost like a one-on-one mentor. That level of personalization and adaptability, available 24/7, just blows the traditional classroom model out of the water in terms of catering to individual needs.
It's not just about efficiency, it's about effectiveness.
And engagement, making learning tailored and maybe even enjoyable again.
He also mentioned platforms like School of Greatness as kind of embodying the type of learning he values.
Yeah, even though that's for adults, the principle is key. His idea behind it was teaching the real-life skills he never learned in school but realized were absolutely crucial later on.
Like what kind of skills?
Things like managing relationships effectively, navigating heartbreak, dealing with bullying, developing emotional intelligence, mastering public speaking. The human stuff.
The stuff that actually helps you function well in the world.
Exactly. These aren't soft skills. They're fundamental human competencies for fulfillment, for success, for contributing meaningfully. Yet they're mostly absent from traditional curricula.
So his vision involves a pretty radical transformation of education.
Oh, yeah. His future self, as he puts it, is really passionate about taking a more active, almost interventionist role in changing the system. He sees it as fundamentally broken, especially given the impact of technology.
And this connects to broader societal shifts, he mentioned.
Absolutely. It's not happening in a vacuum. He talked about the decline of the middle class, something that seemed so stable for decades after World War II. Now we're seeing this increasing polarization, more people at the very bottom, more at the very top.
Hollowing out the middle.
Right. And so many people feel displaced. They feel like they were brought up for a world that no longer exists.
Played by the old rules, but the game changed.
Exactly. Get good grades, go to college, get a safe job. But for many, that path just isn't working anymore. And it leads to so much pain, confusion, self-blame, even when it's the system itself that's failing them. Industries automate, globalize, evolve so fast. Traditional education often just can't keep up.
He used the term technological edge singularity.
Yeah.
What did he mean by that in this context, not the sci-fi version?
Right. Not necessarily the runaway super AI idea, more like we're at this immediate, tangible tipping point where the rate of technological change, AI, automation, connectivity, is accelerating so fast that it's fundamentally reshaping everything, work, education, society itself. It's like we're on the edge, the precipice.
Where everything feels up for grabs.
That's the phrase he used. Everything is potentially changing. And this makes it absolutely crucial for individuals, for us, to actively, intentionally try to shape that future positively. We can't just let it happen or let it spiral into chaos driven purely by tech momentum.
The stakes are really high for how we adapt, especially educationally.
Immensely high. How we prepare and empower people for this new reality will determine our collective path forward. 3.2 Entrepreneurship as a force for good.
And that urgency, that need to actively shape things, seems to directly fuel his primary focus now, doesn't it? This entrepreneur accelerator called DENT.
Yeah, DENT, and the name itself is quite telling.
Inspired by Steve Jobs.
Directly. From that famous quote, "Let's make a dent in the universe." His realization was profound. He saw that trying to solve big problems directly through, say, traditional charity, while incredibly important, often has a limited linear impact.
One person, one organization can only do so much.
Exactly. But his breakthrough insight was, what if I focus on developing thousands of people who can each make a dent in the universe?
Ah, the force multiplier effect.
Precisely. By empowering thousands of entrepreneurs, he could collectively tackle far more problems, create exponentially more positive change than he ever could alone or through conventional philanthropy. It's about enabling sustainable solutions, driven by many, rather than just providing temporary aid from one source.
And are there examples of this working? Real dents being made?
Oh, absolutely. Concrete examples. One entrepreneur from his program started something called the Warrior Academy.
Warrior Academy, what do they do?
It's incredible. They teach martial arts, but also crucial life skills to thousands of orphaned kids in places like Kenya and Nepal every single week.
Wow.
So these kids get fed, yes, but they also learn discipline, self-control, focus, resilience, respect, foundational tools for life delivered through martial arts.
That's amazing impact. Any others?
Another huge one is Buy One, Give One, or B1G1. It's this revolutionary platform for businesses.
Like the Tom's Shoes model, buy one, give one.
Similar principle, but much broader. B1G1 allows any business to easily embed small, impactful giving activities right into their everyday transactions. So maybe every time you make a sale or send an invoice, a small impact happens automatically, providing clean water, planting a tree, funding an education day for a child.
So giving becomes built-in, automated.
Exactly. As the business grows, its positive impact grows automatically. It's genius, and it's scaled massively. They've generated over 370 million giving impacts globally so far.
370 million. That's staggering. It really makes giving part of the business fabric.
It embeds purpose right into profit, intrinsically.
And all this really seems to highlight his own deep personal alignment, doesn't it? He's not just teaching business for business's sake.
Not at all. He's very clear about it. Teaching entrepreneurship, for him, isn't primarily about the money, though obviously wealth can be created. He enjoys building software companies that are profitable, sure, but they are always intentionally aligned with his deeper purpose.
Which is?
Developing other entrepreneurs. Helping those people who feel displaced or lost find meaningful work, build impactful careers, and make their dent. He talks about building this mini empire, but it's not just for personal gain. It's because he genuinely wants to catalyze a global transition, a world where more people can fulfill their potential through meaningful work that also contributes positively.
His ambition is really about enabling others.
It seems that way, yeah. Empowering a generation to create solutions.
And this alignment shows up in his view on personal wealth too, right?
Yeah.
The $100 million company sale idea.
Yeah, that was fascinating. He mentioned his company might sell for something like that soon, but his insight was that amount of money wouldn't fundamentally change his actual lifestyle.
Really? $100 million?
He said he's already financially comfortable, makes good profit yearly, and his real joy, his fulfillment, comes from the process. The building, the creating, the enabling. not just accumulating the cash.
He said something like, you can only live in one house.
Drive one car at a time, eat so much food.
Yeah.
Exactly. For him, the real juice is in the act of creation, the impact, the challenge of building something meaningful. It distinguishes between wealth as the ultimate goal versus wealth as a tool, a resource, or maybe just a byproduct of doing meaningful work well.
It suggests that beyond a certain point, more money doesn't equal more happiness.
Diminishing returns for personal happiness, definitely, while the pursuit of purpose and impact can offer ongoing, deep satisfaction.
It's such a refreshing take. And it leads to this really radical idea he has about legacy, too, what he wants for his kids.
Oh, that was profound and so counterintuitive. He said his wish is for his kids to spend absolutely no time thinking about me.
No time. That sounds harsh.
Not harsh, I think liberating. He wants them totally focused on their lives, their futures, their kids. The goal isn't to have them feel indebted or obligated to live up to his legacy.
It's the opposite.
Completely. He wants to pass on the values, the opportunities, the empowerment so fully that they feel zero burden. Just freedom. Like, whatever he gave them is fully yours now. That's yours. Take it. Build on it your own way.
It's a legacy of unburdened freedom, not inherited duty.
Beautifully put. Designed to foster their independence, their innovation, their own self-direction. 3.3, the power of words and continuous growth.
So if he had to boil it all down, if there was just one single lesson he'd want to impart to his kids, what would it be?
He shared that too. It would be this core principle. You speak things into existence, and relatedly, you get what you pitch for.
Speak things into existence. What does that mean practically?
It hinges on this powerful idea that words are creative, not descriptive.
Creative, not descriptive. Okay.
Meaning, your words don't just describe the reality that already exists. They actively shape the reality that will exist. It's about using language with intention to create your future.
Can you give an example?
Sure. In business, instead of a passive descriptive statement like, well, we hope we hit our targets this quarter, a creative use of words would be a declaration. We are committed to achieving X target by Y date, and here is our plan to make it happen.
It's more active, more intentional.
Exactly. Or personally, instead of saying, I'm always struggling with managing my time, you might declare, I am becoming highly effective at managing my time, and I am implementing these specific strategies. Words become like, well, spells in a way, shaping your reality through focused intent, not just reflecting it passively.
And this ties into another principle he mentioned about output.
Yes, absolutely. It emphasizes that influence flows from output, and the related idea that prolific beats perfect.
Prolific beats perfect. Meaning
the act of consistently creating, producing, putting things out into the world is far more important for learning, growth, and impact than waiting indefinitely for some unattainable state of perfection.
get it out there. Don't wait.
Exactly. Why? Because it's through the doing, the creating, the shipping, that you actually refine your skills, test your ideas, get feedback, and truly learn. Consistent output being prolific leads to mastery much faster than agonizing over one perfect thing.
Especially today, with so much information overload.
Right. It's easy to get stuck just consuming, analyzing, planning forever. Prioritizing output, whether it's writing, coding, starting conversations, sharing insights, that's the differentiator. Influence comes from contributing, not just collecting knowledge.
But this journey, even for him, isn't always easy, right? He mentioned the challenge of comfort.
Yeah, that was really honest.
Yeah.
At 44, he openly acknowledges he's incredibly comfortable in many ways. And surprisingly, he sees that comfort itself as a potential problem, a danger zone.
Why is comfort a problem? Isn't that the goal?
For growth? Maybe not entirely. He recognizes that deep human tendency to settle once we achieve comfort, which can then stifle further growth, bigger impact. So he feels this constant internal need to consciously enroll myself and play a big game.
Keep pushing the boundaries.
Keep pushing, stay hungry, stay curious, not letting comfort lead to complacency. It's a proactive choice to seek that productive discomfort, to keep evolving, even while, importantly, honoring his family and team who are part of that journey.
It's a continuous process.
Always. Which leads to this final, really powerful idea he shared about connection.
What was that?
The idea that you're in partnership with everyone you come in contact with.
Everyone. That sounds broad.
It is, but think about the mindset shift. It's not just a nice sentiment. He sees it as a strategic and ethical way to operate. It means Consciously choosing to care about the other person's needs, seeking mutual benefit, communicating openly, getting into genuine alignment.
Moving beyond purely transactional relationships.
Way beyond. He believes that if you can truly embody this spirit of partnership with more and more people, amazing things start to happen. Because think about it. Any resource you could possibly need, knowledge, capital, connection, support, it already exists somewhere on the planet.
Someone else has it or knows how to get it.
Exactly. You just need to be in partnership with the right person or people who have access to it or can connect you. His point was, your life gets better the more people that you have established good, clean, empowering partnerships with.
It's about building a collaborative ecosystem based on trust and shared purpose.
Precisely. A network where mutual care and alignment unlock doors and allow for exponential growth, not just for you, but for everyone involved. It's a powerful way to access potential. Outro.
Wow, what a journey we've covered in this deep dive.
Yeah.
It really feels like we've gone from the inside out, starting with those deep, often hidden beliefs about money.
And challenging them, redefining things like greed.
Yeah, exactly. Then moving to understanding why holistic health, physical, emotional, spiritual, isn't just a nice to have, it's the absolute bedrock, the foundation for vitality.
Absolutely essential.
And then seeing how all of that inner work, that alignment, can fuel this incredible outward drive, leveraging entrepreneurship not just for profit, but as a serious force for meaningful global impact.
It really paints a picture of how transforming your inner world, tackling those limiting beliefs, getting clear on purpose, prioritizing vitality, is the fundamental first step to transforming your outer reality and maybe even the world around you.
It all comes back beautifully to that definition of greatness he shared, doesn't it?
It really does. Making the most with what you've got for self and others. So simple, yet so profound.
Yeah.
This whole conversation, I feel, just vividly illuminated how that inner vitality, that life force energy, is so intricately connected to making a real external contribution, and how the power of our intention, our words, shapes it all.
It's about harnessing your unique gifts, cultivating that energy, and aligning it with a purpose bigger than just yourself.
Serving your highest self and the collective good, creating those positive ripples.
So the question then becomes, for you listening, what does all this mean for you? As you reflect on everything we've unpacked today, maybe take a moment to consider, what's your definition of making a dent in the universe? Is it about wealth? Is it optimizing your health? Maybe transforming education or fostering collaboration through those powerful, aligned partnerships?
And crucially, how might stepping more fully into your unique vitality, that irreplaceable life force energy that connects you to your deepest purpose, how might that be the key? The key to unlocking the impact you want to have, not just for your own life, but for the world around you.
Something definitely worth pondering.